What's up, everybody? It's Jordan from the Sports Behind Show. In this video, I want to be doing a free agency preview for the Indianapolis Colts. I want to be doing a free agency mock for the Colts, be doing a 3-round mock draft from PFF, and do a record prediction for this upcoming season based on the moves I do in this video. So let's go ahead and get started here. This past season was terrible for the Colts. They fire Frank Reich halfway through the season. They hire Jeff Saturday, who has no NFL coaching experience. He won his first game that he lost out. Then the Colts, recently hired a new head coach, Shane Steichen. He was formerly the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And when you look at this Colts team, it's very interesting because, their team needs, once again, is highlighted by quarterback. Their team needs, they could use quarterback, edge rusher, corner, and offensive line. The Colts, looking at some of their cap space, right now, they don't have a ton of cap space. There's several cap casualties to me I feel like the Colts should consider to improve their cap space as we get closer to free agency. A couple of those cap casualties are center Ryan Kelly. When you look at Ryan Kelly, if they were to cut him, they would save about $8 million there. Cornerback Stephon Gilmore. Gilmore is not what he used to be. He used to be a top 5 corner. Now he is not that. He's aging. He's getting up there in years. If they cut him, they save about $10 million. A couple other people, I had them cutting Nick Foles. It would save about $2 million. They would cut Kenny Moore, the cornerback. They would save about $7.5 million. And then you got Matt Ryan. I had the Colts cutting him. If they cut him, they lose about $18 million with dead cap money. But when you look at all these cap casualties, after all that, the Colts have about $24 million in cap space. So looking at some of these free agency signings I have for the Colts, I had them signing wide receiver Noah Brown to a 2-year contract worth $9 million. They could use a little bit more help at wide receiver. Noah Brown had a career high, literally everything last year. He had a career high receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. He had 43 receptions, over 500 yards, and 3 touchdowns this past year for Dallas. I don't think this would be a bad contract here for the Colts to get some more wide receiver help by signing Brown to a 2-year deal. Like I mentioned, they cut Ryan Kelly, which means they're going to have to attack a center in free agency or early in the draft. And I have them signing one here, and center Connor McGovern. Connor McGovern was very, very good this past year. When you look at his PFF grade compared to Ryan Kelly and look at his, penalties and sacks and stuff like that, they're very comparable, but McGovern is just a little bit better. When you look at McGovern's PFF grade, it's 69.6. Kelly is 64.3. When you look at McGovern, he had 1,111 snaps, 4 penalties, and 5 sacks. When you look at Ryan Kelly, he had 1,092 snaps this past year. He had 3 penalties, and he gave up 5 sacks. So they're kind of similar, but I think McGovern is a little bit better. When you have a chance to create more cap space and get somebody better in return in free agency, you should always do that. And I feel like the Colts have an opportunity here to do that by getting center Connor McGovern here to replace Ryan Kelly at center. Some more people I have the Colts signing here. I had them signing cornerback Emmanuel Mosley. He's a guy who, when he plays, he's very, very good, but he cannot stay healthy at all. He's been in the league 5 years, and he's only played more than 12 games just one time in his NFL career. He has 162 tackles, 33 pass breakups, 4 interceptions in just 45 games. When he's on the field, he's great, but that key word is if. When he's on the field, he's very, very good. But the one bad thing about kind of signing him is, he has injury issues. If he could be on the field and not be injured, I feel like the Colts would be a winner of this signing here because, $7 million for a guy of his caliber is very good. Emmanuel Mosley, to me, 3 years for $21 million, I don't think will be a bad signing for the Colts, especially if he's able to stay healthy for Indianapolis. One other guy here, I feel like, I don't think this would be a terrible signing, is Gardner Minshew. Now, this is not to start. This is just a backup role for Gardner Minshew. He spent time with Shane Steichen this past year in Philadelphia. I have him signing Gardner Minshew to a 1-year deal worth $4 million. And to me, it's kind of a mentor role. Minshew, whoever the Colts draft, in the first round, he kind of be the mentor, tell him different things. He's learning stuff like that throughout the league. I don't think this would be bad. Minshew is not a bad backup. 8-16 as a starter, 44 touchdowns, 15 picks, over 6,600 passing yards. So I don't think this would be a bad signing here for the Colts to sign Gardner Minshew if it's for a backup role. If it's a starting role, I feel like that'd be a terrible idea. But Gardner Minshew here as a backup, I don't think would be bad for the Colts. When you look at some of the free agency signings, I had them signing wide receiver Noah Brown to a 2-year deal worth $9 million. They signed center Connor McGovern to a 3-year deal worth $27 million. They signed cornerback Emmanuel Mosley to a 3-year deal worth $21 million, and they signed Gardner Minshew to a 1-year deal worth $4 million. When you look at this mock draft here, this year to me has to be the year the Colts drafted quarterback early. You know, so many times they've just signed a quarterback, and each year it's like, oh, this quarterback is going to be better than the one before. And somehow they just keep getting worse and worse and worse. Lots of people thought this Colts team this past year was going to be good with Matt Ryan. He was absolutely terrible. This is the year the Colts finally drafted a quarterback early. The 4th pick overall, I think the Colts take Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud. I feel like this would be a great selection here. Stroud or Bryce Young, either one of these here, the 4th pick. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. 85 touchdowns and 12 interceptions the last 2 years. That is insane. He's over 8,000 passing yards. His completion percentage is 69%. The Colts finally find their quarterback of the future here. I feel like this is a great selection by the Colts. I feel like they have to go quarterback at number 4. And if Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud will be gone by 4, which I don't think is likely, I don't think it'd be a bad idea of the Colts trade back, get more draft capital for a rebuilding team, and then get a quarterback. But the Colts finally get the quarterback here to C.J. Stroud. I feel like that'd be a great selection for Indianapolis, because it's just been ever since, when Andrew Luck's left, it's just been a revolving door. You've had a quarterback for a year, you get a new one. It seems like every single year the Colts have a new quarterback. But with Stroud, I feel like you kind of have that stability. Finally, you have your quarterback of the future. With a 2nd-round pick, I have them drafting South Carolina cornerback Cam Smith. Cam Smith has 6 interceptions and 18 passes defended. When you look at the Colts, one of the team needs is corner, and that was before I had them cut Stephon Gilmore. So I feel like corner is definitely a team need now. I feel like Cam Smith will be one of the better players here available. Some people have him being a top 20 pick. So the fact that the Colts get him here with a 35th pick is a great value selection here for the Colts here in the 2nd round. The Colts, in their 3rd-round pick, I love this pick up here. With the 79th pick overall, they draft Bowling Green edge rusher Carl Brooks. They can use a little bit more help at edge. Carl Brooks is phenomenal. He has 30.5 tackles for loss and 17 sacks the last 2 years. But you look at his whole career, he has 26.5 sacks and 46 tackles for loss. He is a monster. He is all over the field. If you can get a guy like Carl Brooks with the 79th pick, a guy who's been a monster his whole career, in his collegiate career at Bowling Green, I feel like that'd be a great pickup here for the Colts. So in this 3-round mock draft, I have them drafting C.J. Stroud. I had them drafting Cam Smith, the corner from South Carolina, and they draft Bowling Green edge rusher Carl Brooks in the 3rd round. So when you look at this Colts schedule here, kind of looking at the Colts schedule, based on the moves I did in this video. So you look at the schedule: Bengals, Falcons, Ravens, and Panthers. I think they win 1, maybe 2. Texans, Jaguars, Titans. I think they win 1, maybe 2. Browns, Steelers, Saints, and Buccaneers, 1, maybe 2. And then the Jaguars, Titans, Raiders, Rams, and Patriots, I think they win 2 or maybe 3 of those games. So when you look at this Colts schedule, and based on the moves I did in this video, I had the Colts going 6-11 this upcoming season. That's not bad when you look at a first-year head coach and a new quarterback. 2 wins improvement compared to this past year, but it should be very interesting what the Colts do in the offseason. Comment your thoughts on who you want the Colts to draft, who you want the Colts to sign in free agency. That about does it for this video. If you're new to the channel or if you've seen my videos before, I would really, really appreciate if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time on the Sports Dude Hines Show.